Keir Sloan and Robert Whelan. Japanese team there, also the Belgian sealing team, young Scottish riders there. Final preparations.
And be safe on your journey all around Ireland.
Tony Cullinan, the president of the League of Credit Unions, give these riders the flag to wave them on their way as they head out of Derry for 8 days. An unusual route this year, which takes the riders from Derry right down through the country, 2.5 days in Northern Ireland, and then onwards down to finish in Ennis on the following Sunday. Teams from Ireland, Great Britain, Scotland, Japan, America, Belgium, Wales, and then regional teams from both Ireland and England make up the 100-man field. Commissary there, Michael Robb, looking at the riders as they head out apprehensively on day one, which takes them from Derry to Dungannon. And on the climb of Feeney, the halfway stage, young rider from Great Britain team Charles Wegelis goes clear. A rider who's going to prove one of the revelations of the week. Only 16 years of age, in effect a first-year junior. This young rider, Finnish-born, would spend most of his life in Britain. He's going on now to the first Prix of the day in Feeney, and obviously with the King of the Mountains title in his sights. And so as he takes the first Prix of the day, 100 metres clear of the field, and soon afterwards the riders went up the Glenshane Pass in one long line with the pressure on at the front, and down the far side at some 55-60 mile an hour. Going through the picturesque village of Moneymore, a 6-man group has gone clear, led by Anthony Aspel of the Great Britain team, one of the American riders there, and indeed one of the Belgian riders also in the group. But a further half a minute behind the whole field going through. But as they arrive in the finishing circuit in Dungannon, down Scott Street, young Wegelis has gone clear on his own on the hilly finishing circuit in Dungannon. The main field coming through some 20 seconds behind them. Being very careful down the bottom of this descent. They've been warned already about it, a bad bend. But heading up the finishing straight in William Street, it's Wegelis still clear on his own in front of Matthew Price of Lincolnshire. Delighted Charles Wegelis will be the first wearer of the yellow jersey. Price takes second, and Gerben van Heest of the Belgium sealing team in third place, leading in the main field. So the first yellow jersey on the race to Charles Wegelis, young rider from Great Britain, and as they assemble in the Market Square in Dungannon, following morning for the stage to Enniskillen. Race leader's car there in a little bit of spot of bother getting through. Some interested spectators there indeed. The RUC did a superb job on the race the couple of days it was in Northern Ireland in escorting this race safely through the province. And as they're heading towards Enniskillen, the bunch still very active at the front. Lots of riders on the attack. Riders still very fresh. And through O'Her, and a 13-man break has gone clear with 3 members of the Ireland Finches team in it. A very strong group and a very dangerous group in fact. Anthony Aspel also there, and 2 of the young Cork riders. And here's some young stars of the future racing through O'Her. And a minute behind the main field, and the Great Britain team at the head of affairs, obviously keen not to let the break get too far ahead. On the road to Enniskillen, the break continued to press on their advantage, gaining a maximum of a minute and a half. Robert Whelan and Keir Sloan of the Finches Ireland team driving it at the front. Mark Desimone of the LA Sheriff's team. And 2 of the Belgian riders here, Kurt Bogarts and Gerben van Krombergen. They're heading for the climb of Mons Cross into Brookborough, and then they drop down onto the main road into Enniskillen. The break still being driven on by the Irish riders. 2 Cork riders taking things easy at the back. Young David Lane of the MF team there driving on at the front also. And Kurt Bogarts, Belgium sealing, handing a drink to our cameraman. But at the finish in Enniskillen, it's young David Lane who has gone clear. He broke away with Mark Desimone of America and just rode away from him in the run into the finish. David Lane proved to be the only Irish stage winner of the week in effect. Desimone stays clear for second place. And then Liam Ryan leads the charge of the rest of the break to take third place, in front of the Belgian. But unfortunately for the yellow jersey Wegless, he crashed on the descent into Brookborough and finished some 2.5 minutes behind the main field, thereby losing his jersey, his overnight lead, and the jersey now going on the shoulders of David Lane. Race photographer there taking a photograph of the RUC escort and the race marshals, because this is the last day the escort will be with us as we reach the border. In Newtown Butler, they let the race go ahead, and it's taken over by the Garda Síochána in the south. Anthony Aspel, young rider from the Isle of Man. David Halligan of the Western Telecom team. The RUC waving goodbye to the race. Made some good friends this week. As we arrive down into Clonus, the bunch still all together. But soon afterwards, two riders went clear. David Klinger of the LA Sheriff's team, this American team, the best team in the States, brought into Ireland by the Derry Credit Union. And also David Miller of the Great Britain team. Those two riders going clear, and the yellow jersey obviously realising the danger and trying to get the chase organised behind. Graham Casey of the Telecom Credit Union Western Region team also at the front of affairs. But soon afterwards, the two leaders were joined by four riders as they headed onto the 5-mile finishing circuit in Carrickmacross. Lane and his young teammate there, Emmett Byrne, trying to organise things behind, because the danger is obviously up front. The yellow jersey is under threat. And at the finish, in Carrickmacross, it is Rennie Saints of the LA Sheriff's team, sponsored in this race by Derry Credit Union, who takes the stage. What was to prove to be the first of 3 stage wins for this young rider. In second place, sprinting very well now from the young Cork rider, Liam Ryan. And some 2 minutes behind, 2 of the Irish riders coming in with the race leader, David Lane. But he was to lose his jersey. The efforts of Ryan were enough to give him the lead. And the big crowd out in Carrickmacross to see this race, showing their appreciation to a young rider from Cork, Liam Ryan. Following morning, Carrickmacross to Trim, and a very famous visitor to the race for a day, Stephen Roach. The Americans getting the autograph on the back. And the bunch staying fairly well together as they leave Carrickmacross. Young Ryan watching attentively. Well, as they head towards Virginia, towards the first climb of the day, some rough surface causes a few problems for riders. Despite the marshal warning them clearly that there's danger ahead, some of the riders still go down. Young Kieran Steed here of the Hillcrest Harry team with a puncture. And Robert Whelan of the Ireland team, who had punctured earlier, trying to make his way back to the field. But soon after Navan, a group of 6 went clear, being pressed on by Rennie Saints of the LA Sheriff's team. Also there, David Halligan of the Telecom team, a young Saints, Mexican by birth and qualifies to ride for both Mexico and America. In actual fact, has been Mexican junior champion for the past 2 years. He's certainly driving on this break. Halligan also doing a lot of work at the front. They stayed clear to the finish in Trim, and even though Robert Whelan desperately trying to win into his hometown, it is Saints of the American team who takes the stage. And half a minute behind, ahead of the main field, Liam Ryan in a yellow jersey, holding on to his jersey and retaining it overnight.
And it's great to have somebody like Credit Union coming in and sponsoring the youth of today, because I saw myself today for the first time at a junior race, and it was very, very good to watch the riders having a go. The biggest break we got about 35 metres off the front, so it's exceptional. It's great. It's great racing. It's great to see all the lads in there having a go.
Indeed, and for the riders, it was a great treat to have Stephen Roach on the race for the day also. In Trim the following morning, a 6-mile time trial, the test of truth. The riders going off at 1 minute intervals around the 6-mile course. Japanese riders here. And a very interested spectator on the day, Bernard Allen, the Minister of Sport, who came down to watch the race. But the star of this stage was to be Dave Miller of the Great Britain team. British champion over 25 miles, he absolutely scorched around the course in 13 minutes 9 seconds to win from his teammate Charles Wegler's 13 minutes 27 seconds, over practically 20 seconds behind. Toby Holmes of the Lincolnshire team was third. And as they leave Trim heading for Tullamore, a short stage, only 45 miles, but it was to prove to be one of the fastest stages of the race, run off at an average speed of 28 miles an hour, which is incredible for these young riders on restricted gears also. Liam Ryan still in the yellow jersey and growing in confidence with each stage. On the way into Tullamore, a group of 4 going clear here. Pressed on by Dave Miller, the winner of the stage in the morning. Charles Wegler also there. Raymond Corbett of Cork and John Mannix of Killarney, the leading 4. And the bunch behind, the chase trying to get organised by Rory Kelly of the Stag Cycles team. But the leading 4 riders pressing on. And even though they're in competition, they're still friends, as Corbett shares a drink with Weggles. Certainly the heat taking its toll here, as the weather is absolutely astounding, and the riders going through bottle after bottle. But it's Miller driving the brake on, Mannix trying to come through, Weggles next, and then Corbett. And as they arrive in Tullamore, Miller still strong and just able to ride away from the group and sprint clear. Miller takes the stage, Weggles in second place. Corbett comes in third with Mannix fourth.
Yeah, schooling stuff there, and we'll have the conclusion of the race for you after the next